There is a category of cultural love that outperforms citizenship. Not the love that arrives through documentation or natal geography, but the kind that accumulates across decades of attentive absorption, through a grandmother's kitchen, through 42 episodes of patient iterative learning in a country that is not technically your own but whose culinary vocabulary you speak with the precision of someone who never considered it foreign. That love does not borrow belonging. It generates a more indelible form of it. And on the 18th of December, it generated 78 million views. Brisna Reyes did not petition the world for permission. She cooked her way into 78 million people's attention on one December afternoon, and the world responded with something considerably more durable than applause. Welcome back to Curve Walk Studio, the plus-size model and curvy model Wiki biography channel, home of the plus-size curvy women documentary playlist and the Curve Files on Spotify. Two terms anchor everything this archive documents. Big Beautiful Woman, BBW, Supersize Big Beautiful Woman, SSBBW, both describe real, distinct strata inside the full-figured plus-size model world, and Brisna's audience inhabits both with the fervid specificity of a community that has spent years seeking exactly what she produces without editorial commentary about the body producing it. Her IG handle is Brisna Reyes 26. 29 years old. Salvadoran. 198 posts. 462,000 followers. 480 accounts followed back. 198 posts is the first analytical provocation this profile presents. Every plus-size model and curvy model this Curve Walk Studio archive has documented at comparable scale built their following across thousands of uploads and years of diurnal consistency. Brisna assembled 462,000 followers in fewer posts than most creators publish across 8 calendar months. Volume was never the operative mechanism. Something more mnemic, more sediment in cultural memory than in content strategy, was already propelling this platform long before the algorithm found a reason to notice it. El Salvador is roughly the size of Massachusetts, and the cultural thread running north from it into Mexico is a propinquity most outside observers fail to perceive because it travels through kitchens rather than formally designated cultural corridors. Brisna grew up inside that propinquity. Her grandmother, Mamá Tere across every caption without exception, came from a lineage that spent decades preparing Mexican dishes alongside Salvadoran ones. The two traditions sediment into each other with the palimpsestic layering of cuisines that have shared geography across multiple generations without ever resolving into a single coherent category. That interpenetrative kitchen is the structural premise of Salvadoreñas q amamos Mexico. Salvadoran women who love Mexico. 42 episodes before December. Each one Brisna preparing a Mexican dish under Mamá Tere's fractionally patient supervision, sometimes failing, always narrating the dish's cultural provenience from the Salvadoran vantage rather than performing borrowed authenticity she does not possess. 2 highlight folders anchor the platform's architecture. Exclusivo holds unscripted kitchen footage too temporally granular for the main feed's pacing. Ultimer holds the editorial present tense without additional framing. Several episodes open with Brisna in traditional textile dress, a huipil from one region, a rebozo from another, 30 seconds of fabric history spoken directly to camera before the comal heats. Lookbook content wearing culinary inheritance as its outer garment. Neither register neutralizes the other, and the productive tension between garment and recipe is audible in every caption she writes. Episode 43 posted December 18th. 6 days into posada season. After that the arithmetic became ungovernable. 78 million views against 462,000 followers. The ratio, 168.8 to 1 from one upload. Adjacent reels sat at 326,000 views and 101,000 views, both entirely ordinary numbers for a creator at this follower level. The 168.8 multiplier occupies a different phenomenological category from anything else in this Curve Walk Studio plus-size model and curvy model wiki biography archive. It is the highest single video view-to-follower ratio this channel has measured. The cultural antecedent runs from 1963 through 1980. Celia Cruz, Cuban-born, the most internationally proliferant voice in salsa across that span, carried Cuban musical inheritance across every national border she encountered without moderating it for palatability. She arrived not as a diplomatic intermediary, but as someone so constitutively inside what she was transmitting that new audiences received the authenticity somatically before they processed the form intellectually. The Ganó México episode operates on that same cathexis. A Salvadoran woman's love for Mexico, accumulated across 42 episodes and a grandmother's lifetime of kitchen memory, arriving in one upload with a force that 78 million separate acts of extended attention confirmed as irreducibly genuine. The Curve Walk Studio plus-size curvy women community has been running a 40-second extract from that episode across its active presence since Monday, and the response pattern there is not engagement with a content piece. It is the particular register of recognition that emerges when an audience encounters a full-figured BBW and SSBBW plus-size model whose somatic presence in the frame requires no contextualization whatsoever. People are naming the specific Tamarly variant. People are identifying the exact Marser source. Nobody is remarking on the body and frame, which is precisely the condition the SSBBW and BBW community has been seeking inside the plus-size model space for years and finding only intermittently. Geographically, Mexico now leads Brisna Reyes' 26 viewer distribution ahead of El Salvador itself, the most striking territorial inversion this Curve Walk Studio plus-size model and curvy model biography archive has documented. The United States sits second, concentrated across the diaspora corridors of Texas, California, and the Carolinas. El Salvador third. Guatemala and Honduras complete a top 5, forming the most consanguineous cultural audience cluster this channel has ever measured. Episode 44 is already filmed. A dish from Oaxaca. Brisna has said on camera that part of it will be shot on location in the market where the recipe originated. 42 episodes from one kitchen in San Salvador. The 44th requires a passport. 198 posts. 168.8 to 1 on a single upload. A grandmother's recipe notes. An oregano jar. December 18th. 78 million people who were constitutionally prepared to receive exactly what she transmitted. Tabitha Kincaid, Tabic 07, the 37-year-old BBW and SSBBW plus-size model and maker from Austin, Texas, built her 2.2 million view peak across 1,363 posts of lapidary craft accumulation over years. Brisna reached 168.8 to 1 from 198 posts through one authenticated moment of inherited cultural love. Which architecture produces the more durable ceiling, the thermal mass that took years to reach temperature, or the flame that arrived fully formed from cultural memory older than the platform? Watch the Tabitha Kincaid biography in the Curve Walk Studio plus-size curvy women documentary playlist and decide for yourself. Subscribe to Curve Walk Studio for more plus-size model and curvy model wiki biography profiles. The Curve Files is on Spotify. Tell us who is next.